Good morning. This is a special meeting of the Cameron County Commissioners Court. It is the 21st day of November 2012. It is now 8:30 a.m. No, it's a special meeting because tomorrow will be a regular meeting. Hey, you got to be quick.
Excuse me.
As we do all meetings, we will start with a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. flag and the Texas flag. I'd ask that the Commissioners Court lead the audience in both pledges. Please rise. Thank you. Commissioners.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee. Texas is one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Public comments? I have one public comment. Mrs. Anita Weaver? Yes, ma'am. And just introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
And public people. My name's Anita M. Weaver, and I reside in San Benito. I'm here to, as you know, Mr. Cascos, I've talked to your office several times. I've talked to Mr. David Garcia. Actually, this has been going on for the past 3-4 years in reference to my road, which is Freddy Gomez Road. It's on Military Highway 281. There's actually 5 residents there. Unfortunately, some had doctor's appointments. A couple of them are out of town. So I'm here to represent them. And I know Ms. Cantu was the other person that came with me some time back. And Commissioner Sanchez, good morning, sir. I believe he knows the road that I'm talking about, which is Freddy Gomez Road. It's very close to his parents' house, and he's familiar with the road himself. I did call Commissioner Sanchez yesterday, wasn't able to talk to him. I understand there was an email sent to him. And like I said, this road it's basically not as bad as other roads that I've been told about, but my concern is that, unfortunately, my road is half city and half county. Somehow, somewhere along the line, somebody decided to put me, like I told Mr. Garcia, like the India Maria, ni de aquí ni de allá. So it's pretty sad because I can't do anything on that road. Now, when it rains, and I mean really rains, it gets pretty bad to where we drive small cars, and you have to really be careful, and you have to be there to see it when it's really bad. I know Mr. Garcia has gone out there and said, well, it doesn't look all that bad. Well, I understand. About 4 or 5 years ago, Ms. Edna Tamayo was, I guess, nice enough to put some caliche out there due to we had an elderly lady, 90-year-old, and the ambulance had to go in. Well, because I've been working on this for quite some time, I was told by Michael at the Commissioner's office back then that Ms. Tamayo's comments were, I did it out of courtesy and as a favor. Well, that kind of got to me because I thought, well, I vote for all these people that are representing my county to see if they can give me answers, right? I believe yesterday Mr. Garcia had called me, and if I'm not mistaken, said, your road is not anywhere, you could correct me if I'm wrong, sir, to where we can fix it. And I'm thinking, I pay county taxes. You know, I've lived here all my life, voter, graduate, worked with the San Benito School District for years, and my road can be worked on. I don't want blacktop. Like I was told that I belong to the city of Los Indios. We talked to Mr. Bennett before. It was at one time and point that the county was going to put the equipment, that Los Indios was going to put the material. Well, I haven't gotten anywhere with anybody, and that's why I'm here this morning, sir. To get some answers. I saw a program last night where you were getting answers for some lost children or something like that, colonias and stuff. I want some answers too, so I can take back to my neighbors and say, okay, you know what? They're not going to help us. We're going to have to do this on our own or something.
Well, thank you for being here, Mr. Weaver, and I know we've talked several times about this road. Mr. Garcia's been out there, other people have been out there to look at it. What I can do is I can ask specific factual questions for you. I met with Mr. Garcia yesterday, Mr. Walker yesterday. They showed me photographs, and we talked basically about this specific situation. So I'm going to ask them specific questions, and hopefully you may not like the answers you're going to get, but these are the answers that are there.
Okay.
So Richard, can you come up, please, and I want you to explain just a couple of things. Just kind of give a brief background, factual background on Freddy Gomez Road, the condition of the road, what it is that we can or cannot do, and why we can or cannot do it, and what it would take to allow us to do that, and what it would take to bring that road up to a standard whereby we could do that. And just tell us, is this a county road, public road, dedicated road, or a private road?
Okay, well.
Well, I'm going to let him answer now because
Okay,
he's...
but before we go on, this road was open, access to Border Patrol and everybody else, like I mentioned to him. It wasn't until they put the border wall and closed the canal part and stuff like that. I think my concern is, you know, like I mentioned to Mr. Garcia, we pay county taxes, and I understand what you're saying. There's other people that have more of a necessity than we do. All I'm asking for is scrape the road, put some caliche, and that's it. You know, nothing.
I understand, but I haven't said that.
Okay.
I haven't said anything about a need anywhere else.
Okay.
I want to hear factual information in regards to this. Now, you know, and a lot of people, I did not understand for the longest time about the difference between a public road,
Right.
a county road. Not all, you know, all public roads are not county roads,
Okay.
but all county roads are public roads. So I want to hear from Mr. Walker in terms of where we are with that specific road, and just keep it to facts and to county policy.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, all that are here. I'm Richard Walker. I work with the Cameron County Engineering Department and the Right-of-Way Department. I have done thorough research on this particular road, and there is no evidence that shows where this road was ever publicly dedicated or deeded to the Cameron County or any other authority for that matter. All indications are that this road is of a private status, serving the purpose of either a private road or a private drive for those residents that live along it to be able to get back to their property. The difference between it, yes, Commissioner?
Oh, I was going to let you finish.
Oh.
I just have a question after you.
So all evidence that we have looked for is all indicated. It says that it is a private status. It's not any public road. We have no file for it at the office there, and it's not included in our county road inventory list.
Okay, answer factually, what would it take to bring this driveway, or whatever you want to call it, into the county system? What would they have to do, or what would have to be done?
Number one, it said they would have to follow certain guidelines that said they're established through our engineering department for proper construction of the road. First and foremost, what they would have to do is they would have to deed their proportionate share of their property for the right-of-way, which is a 60-foot width right-of-way.
How wide?
60 feet of width.
Okay.
And every owner along that trail where that road is at, or that drive, would have to deed their proportionate share of their property to equal the 60 feet that is necessary for the road right-of-way. A road would have to be constructed of caliche surface on the ground. He said and that would have to occur at the property owner's expense. And then after this is all complete and taken care of, the road would be monitored for a 1-year period of time.
That's for caliche or asphalt?
No, it would only need to have a caliche base of 6 inches of caliche on it. Then it would be monitored for a 1-year period of time, checked quarterly to see how it's holding up to the traffic on the road. After that point, recommendations would be placed before Commissioners Court to either accept or not accept the road into the road system.
Commissioner Sanchez, question?
I had a question, and you may be the one with the answer or not, but does the county typically put street signs on private drives?
The GIS addressing system does allow for signage on private drives for the purposes of identifying the road for the dispatch of emergency services. So it does allow for signs to be placed identifying the road from off a main intersection or a main road.
So even though the county may have put a sign on the road, doesn't necessarily make it a county road, is what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay.
There's a stop sign also there, as I think as you're coming out. Is that section within the city limits of Los Indios, or is that still considered outside the city limits?
Well, to determine that, we'd have to find the exact location of where the stop sign is located at. If it falls within the state's jurisdictional right-of-way, then it would be something that they may have placed themselves there. Normally on roads that would intersect with state roads, they're generally placed within what's county right-of-way.
Okay. All right.
But that portion of the road at that point there, Judge, falls within the town of Los Indios. They may have placed that sign there. I'm not sure if they did or not.
Okay. Ms. Weaver, that's, what I'm hearing is, again, what I'm hearing is that I don't believe that the county can go in and do any maintenance on this road without it becoming a county road or serving, I don't even know if even serving some public purpose other than looking at the 5 residences that are there. I saw the photos yesterday, and it looked like a long driveway. 11 feet, I think, is the width of it, enough maybe for one vehicle, certainly not for 2 vehicles to go by at the same time, but one vehicle. So I think what Mr. Walker is saying, that in order to convert this and even having the Commissioner's Court accept it as a county road, you know, one has to do certain things, and it's costly. And the right-of-way, you know, dedication is one of them, and then actually putting caliche on, what'd be the minimum? Is it 24 feet or 16 feet? 24 feet of caliche width times the length of that road. And also, there's no cul-de-sac at the end. There's no turnaround either, is there?
No.
Okay. Do buses frequent that road? Do they go down that road by any chance?
No, there's no
There's no
school
kids, there's
children
no
anymore.
children? Okay.
But to get back with, you know, this was a county road years before.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and again, we can only deal with the factual information that we have.
well, I understand.
Do you have
what you're
anything that
telling
would
me.
show, let me ask you, Ms. Weaver, would you have anything, any type of documentation that would show somewhere where it was a county road that maybe we don't have in our files?
Well, I know my mother-in-law lived there for years, Olivia Rosales, and
But does she?
I might ask her for it. The
You
thing
might want to
is-
ask her. I mean, look, if there's anything that you might have that we do not have, that would help us get there.
Well, and the other thing was that, according to the city of Los Indios, and see, again, my problem is I don't pay city taxes.
Right.
Okay? I pay county taxes.
Right.
We all do there.
Right.
Why we're annexed to half city and half county is beyond our doing. So that county road, or that road that I'm talking about, was dedicated either by the county, and I know I have a newspaper article, under Freddie Gomez Road, because Freddie Gomez was a singer like Freddie Fender and all those other people. He was raised and born there on the Carricitos area, which is the section that I'm talking about. And years before, where my mother-in-law lived there and we bought the property, that county road there was either Villafranca or Villafranco last name that would always go out there. Now, we had county tractors going out there and doing the grass along the road there. Well, since the Transmigrantes moved in and put in their fence, the county tractors can't go in because they're so big. So I do that grass on my behalf because I like for it to look nice. And I'm sure Mr. Sanchez knows what I'm talking about. His parents did some of that grass 2 years before. So, you know, that road has been there for years. It's not like a first-time thing. And it's been more than 6 years that it's had any kind of work on it. Now, if I do belong to the city of Los Indios, everybody there has paved roads with blacktop and everything else, you know. And again, like I said, I'm not asking, or we're not asking for anything other than scrape it down. And like he said, if we have to give part of our property to deed it to the county, which you have military highway going in and digging, you know, because the pipes are under there. You have the trash people going in. We have Border Patrol when they need to go in. There's a place in the back where I have to call the city of Brownsville to come and cut, and they've done great beyond that. It's right behind my property. It's a section that I think Mr. Garcia knows about. And, you know, we all have to keep up our property. So anyway, to make it short, I understand what you're saying. I'm very disappointed because I know you have rules and regulations and everything else, but like I told Mr. Garcia yesterday, there's a lot of people dumping stuff here and there illegally. You have to send out your county people, pay them overtime, all this equipment, while other people are paying for trash pickup and brush pickup and trying to keep up. But whatever you can do, sir, I appreciate it, and thank you for giving me the time to be here.
Yes, ma'am. I would encourage you to look through some newspapers or any type of legal document. It's not unusual for cities or counties to put a name on this
Right.
type of road, but it doesn't make it a county road.
understand.
You know, having half county, half city on a road, that's not unusual. I think every commissioner here has that type of situation and trying to negotiate with a municipality as to who's going to do what. The roads in Los Indios, you know, within the Los Indios city proper were probably paved by the county over the years before it became incorporated.
Right.
So I would just encourage you to continue trying to find something that gives us, you know, a foothold. Other than what I've seen today, I would continue just to try to find something that, again, that gives us some kind of documentation. Continue working with Commissioner Sanchez's office since he's your lead person
Right, I
there,
understand.
and continue working with Mr. Walker. If you find something, get it to them, and we'll just take it from there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Ms. Weaver, also, I was out sick all day yesterday.
Yeah,
I have fever right now, but sorry I didn't respond, but
No,
I've
I know
been
you're really good
working on
about
it.
responding. I figured it was some kind of a emergency that you didn't get back with me, sir, but thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other
Just one comment.
public comment?
A question to legal. I know that I have a number of roads of that type in my precinct. And when I brought that issue to your attention, legal has told me that it is illegal to have county equipment work on non-county roads that are private. And that would lead to legal issues if I asked them to go do the work.
I mean, they're called indictments.
I think they're called indictments, you know. And I just want you to clarify that issue that we have as commissioners in regards to private roads.
That's very true, Commissioner. The Constitution forbids giving anything of value to someone without compensation or without a legitimate public purpose. And in a situation like this where you have private owners along a road, the predominant purpose, at least, is a private purpose. And so, you know, you would have to have, you know, some reason other than just keeping a pretty place or something like that that would justify that.
Right. And I know that when that road was worked on many years ago, Commissioner Tamayo and I placed an item on the agenda so that Commissioners Court, because of an emergency situation, I had a child on a road in Los Fresnos that was going to daily dialysis or something.
Yeah.
And we put an item on the agenda, and even though we were advised that it could potentially lead to legal issues, the court supported it, and we were able to go, and it was identified as a one-time basis only, you know, not to be confused with prescriptive rights on a road. And we were able to do that on 2 roads, actually, you know, but it was taken into that manner, you know. So, that's how it was done,
Okay. One question, Mr. Cascos.
Yes.
Would you recommend that I talk to Mr. Bennett again? I mean, since you're telling me, my road is half city, half county, if they could do something on their behalf, which I know I went to one of the meetings, and of course, Ms. Weaver there told me that it was off the agenda and there was nothing they could do for me. So again, I was back to the same situation. No answers. You did tell me, look for answers, look for newspaper articles, and things like that.
Well, and the reason I suggested that is because you mentioned that there may be some kind of newspaper article from years back or some kind of, so I'm asking you to go back and look. In terms of speaking to Mr. Bennett, yeah, I mean, you can talk to him. Now, we do frequently enter into interlocal agreements with municipalities to, we put the labor and equipment and they put the material. But it would only be for that, unless engineering can correct me, but that would be only for the city's portion. It would not be for anything other than city, because that's still a private area.
Right.
But I think you need to speak with him first, and they need to come back to us, and maybe we can work something out in that regard. But I don't have enough information to give you any
one
facts.
last question. If it would go through, the city would do half, and you guys would do half if it came to that agreement?
No. When you're talking about half of the road, the only thing that I believe we could do would participate with the city on what is considered city property, I guess, within the city limits. And even then, that would be an interlocal between us and the city of Los Indios, because they don't charge any ad valorem tax. So it would be, I don't know if they would have any money in their budget to do this.
Right.
But we can start there.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a nice Thanksgiving. Yes, sir.
One public comment.
Yes, sir.
I asked that Commissioners Court keep in their prayers the family of Barbara Cullum, who is the mayor of Indian Lake, whose husband, ex-mayor Jake Cullum, passed away this last week.
I did not know that.
And he was a World War II veteran. He was a well-decorated individual that served this country in many capacities, but most importantly, this gentleman, up to his late age in the 90s, was a volunteer on a very regular basis for anything that happened in the Los Fresnos area. So he was very visible in that community. He was, I did a little bit of a eulogy, and I said he's one of the smartest guys I know, because he was mayor for 2 years, in 99 and 2000, when I was running for office for the first time. And after that, he convinced his wife to run as mayor, and she's been mayor ever since. So evidently, the man had a lot of smartness about him, in getting her to run, and she's still there. But if you could please just keep that family in your prayers, it would be appreciated.
Thank you, Commissioner. Consent items. Are there any items under the consent that any member of the court wish to take out and discuss separately? On item G, I just need a clarification. On double F, I've been asked to include a $50 registration fee to that expense report. Correct? Is that the one you're going to talk
Yes.
about? Anything else?
Item Q, we just want to note that item would be approved subject to the changes recommended by legal.
Okay. Anything else? Javier?
Yes, can we pull out the X?
X to discuss separately?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Is that the only one, Javier?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Anything else? Do I hear a motion?
I will have an abstention on JJ.
Okay, please note Commissioner Hernandez's abstention on item J, double J. Anything else?
Move to approve, Judge.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Commissioner Hernandez. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. That includes in that motion item Q, subject to legal.
Right.
Item double F, adding the $50 registration. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, item carries. Item G, consideration authorization of time extension from October 1st, 2010 to November 6, 2015. Can someone explain that, why we're doing this 2 years later? Or is that a typo?
have a cashier's check for the remaining balances of the outstanding, good morning, Commissioners and Judge.
Good morning, Ernesto. Well, my question is, did we have an extension back when it expired in 2010?
Yeah, they're just continuing.
Okay, so this is just a continuation from...
Continuation to uphold the
Okay,
facility.
all right. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Commissioner Benavides, second by Commissioner Gatz. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, item carries. Item X, consideration authorization to execute contract number 2012 C10411 between Cameron County Parks and Larry Seahusen? Seahusen?
See, Houston. Judge, Commissioners, good morning. The reason I pulled this one out was because we weren't able to get Larry to sign it. He's on his way down to the park.
So what would you like to do with this one?
So if we could approve it, he's coming in on the 1st of December.
Okay?
So if you can sign it then.
Okay, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. Legal, you okay? Yeah, the process is we don't approve it till we've got his signature on there.
Actually, in order for a contract to be approved without the vendor being signed first, you have to have an agenda item exempting it out from the order.
Okay, so what do we do with this one? Do we want to table it till the next meeting?
Table.
So
Okay,
moved,
okay.
table.
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez, second by Commissioner Gatsa to table the item till the next regular meeting. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, item carries. Budget amendments, line item transfers, and/or salary schedules.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. You have the budget amendments in front of you. Line item transfers, County Court at Law 3, South Texas Admin, which is the HIDA, and a budget amendment for line item transfer for unit, which is also with HIDA, also with the Parks Department. You have a budget amendment for the juvenile grant, and a salary schedule is attached for that as well, for your approval.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion to approve item 3A?
So moved.
By Commissioner Benavides, second by Commissioner Gatsa. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, item carries. Claims.
Warrants number 291226 through 291445, number 291451 through 291672. I also have payroll for dated November the 21st for $1,814,396. You had an additional payroll run placed in front of you this morning for $1,243.18. Healthcare claims for $72,117.13. And just an FYI to Commissioners Court, travel claim that is presented today, which is warrant number 291605. It's a travel reimbursement, and that exceeds the per diem on the lodging for your approval as well. I'd also like to read in warrants that have been voided. Warrant number 290553 for $800. This PO was issued under the wrong vendor, so that is voided. Warrant number 290509 and 289722. Those are two checks that are being voided as well. Staff is not attending those conferences, so the claims are voided.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion to approve claims?
So moved.
By Commissioner Hernandez, second by Commissioner Gatsa. Please note my abstention on the affidavits I provided. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, carries. Minutes of September the 6th, 13th, and 14th. Moved by Commissioner Gatsa to approve, second by Commissioner Hernandez. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed, carries. Item D, consideration authorization to make recommendation to TxDOT Aviation on selected proposal for the Port Isabel Cameron County Airport fuel facility system. Morning.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. The committee met on Monday to evaluate the consulting proposals for the fuel facility system at the Port Isabel Cameron County Airport, and they unanimously selected CT Brandon Corp as the top rated consultant.
Move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa. Do I have a second by Commissioner Hernandez? Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, carries. Item
This
E.
should be the last item that we do out there to hopefully this coming year be the most improved airport, general aviation airport in the state of Texas.
And in the universe.
No, just the state of
All
Texas.
right. Item E, Texas is the universe. Okay, item E, consideration and approval of interlocal agreement between Cameron County and the city of Los Indios for building inspection services.
Judge, Commissioners, placed before you a letter from the attorney for the city of Los Indios. They lost the services that they had for building inspection services, and they're asking for the county to look at the possibility of entering into an interlocal with them.
Do we have a fee schedule that we implement when we do these types of services to
We
build them, or
don't,
what?
but we're probably going to end up using what we have within our department in building services.
You talking about like interdepartmental
No.
services or what?
No, using the rate that we have, hourly rate that we have for our employees.
Well, that's what I'm
This
asking.
type of
Do we
service.
have some kind of a fee structure? So you're saying that we do have a fee structure?
Well, the fee structure would be what we pay our employees hourly rate, but we don't have an established fee structure per se for this type of service.
Aren't they special certifications to do the inspections within the city versus the county?
Yes.
I mean, there's different. You know, I know that the town of Bayview has folks that do it on a PRN basis. The town of Laguna, as needed.
PRN?
As needed, you know, like, they call them and they go, you know. For example, the gentleman that does the island, I believe does Laguna Vista on a part-time basis. There's some retired folks that do Bayview on a part-time basis, you know, and they're trained to do city-type inspections. I don't know if our staff has that training.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they probably do, but this is just a letter asking for us to consider the possibility of entering into an interlocal. It's not, we still have to negotiate that rate, and we'd still have to bring back an interlocal to this body for approval.
David, have you checked to see if Los Indios has a fee structure for the city of Los Indios?
We have not, no.
Well, if they do, we should probably follow their fee structure, I would think.
Right.
If it fits our guidelines, that'd make it a lot easier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
if
would
we-
only
yeah,
give us
if-
the authority to negotiate and set out a contract or a fee with them. So we'll definitely go into looking into all of that if we get this approved today.
I think we need, I don't have any issue with moving forward and coming up with an agreement, but I also would like for you to come up with a fee structure that we don't necessarily bill out our services at no cost. And maybe utilize that fee structure for anybody, because once we do this and we open it up to every small community that's going to need these types of services, and we may get our personnel tied up doing their kind of stuff. So I'd like to work,
Yeah,
maybe give us some options to whatever our total cost is, to include benefits, et cetera, the normal rate is normally multiplying that by 2.5 or 3
Okay.
times.
Yeah, and just for the record, this is temporary, so until
Okay.
they find, hopefully until they find somebody soon.
Well, what this says is to approve an interlocal agreement, but we don't have an interlocal agreement,
No.
right?
No.
So would the wording be a little bit different?
You can just direct them to start negotiations.
Okay, well then, do I have a motion then to authorize Mr. Garcia to, I guess, develop, create, and enter into negotiations, develop an interlocal agreement?
Develop an interlocal agreement and negotiate the terms
And a fee structure,
and the fee.
okay? Moved by Commissioner Gatsa.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Benavides. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, carries. Item F, consideration and possible approval of Cameron County Computer Services proposal for work outside of regular hours. Total cost of $21,2453 for 65 overtime hours. Whose is that? And what is it?
David?
Divert court. it says
Oh, is
here.
that you guys? Oh, okay, well, you're up.
Good morning, Judge. and
Good morning.
Commissioners. That fee that
Just
we
introduce
have-
yourself for the record.
Blanca Castañeda, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It's the first time I'm here. That fee is for a software that we're asking for the computer center to help us create, so we can have our own information in one place, I guess, because right now, for the past 3 years, I've been doing all the work, tabulating all the statistics that the grant is asking me for. So that's just why we're asking the computer center to create our own software that would accommodate my needs for the divert court.
Would they be doing this, because it says overtime hours, would they be doing this, Marta, do you have a little bit of input? After, and the number that you came up with, is that the number that somebody gave you that it would take? If it's more, I guess you bump it up. If it's less, then you bump it down?
This work would be done on their own time after their regular Cameron County job, and I'm sure that these figures here include the time and a half with all related fringe based on information she was given as to what the rate of pay is for the individuals that will be working this.
Okay. You know, I don't have any problem with this, but didn't we have an issue with county employees doing stuff on county stuff after hours or nighttime? And that was an issue. I just don't know if this falls under the same category. I don't know. Other than it's coming to us for approval. But
Right.
Well, but if we're going to be paying them the overtime rate, I don't think
Yes.
it's a problem, right?
Right.
If we're
they'll
paying
be
them.
coming in, and their time will be a time and a half overtime
Okay.
based on.
But paid
and it'll
from
run
us.
Through payroll, yes.
By the county.
Right.
and then they're going to reimburse us for that?
Yes, the cost will be covered by the divert court.
Okay.
Now, I know that the computer center has done this in the past for the district clerk's office, and it was the same situation. It's the
Okay.
same
Move to
scenario.
approve.
Okay. Thank you. Moved by Commissioner. Yeah, at least they're asking. Thank you. Have a good Thanksgiving. Moved by Commissioner Sanchez, second by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, item carries. Item G, consideration approval to exempt from the Cameron County Order Number 2009-0401, the memorandum of agreement for participation in the Cameron County Department of Health and Human Services Hospital Preparedness Program between Cameron County Department of Health and Human Services and the following entities, A through U, as outlined on the agenda. Any questions from Mr. Calvillo?
Can you tell us why you want to exempt them?
We're on a fast track to try to implement some of the radio projects. So before we start implementing the project, we have to have MOUs with these facilities. So we want to fast track the MOUs to have them in place.
Move to approve.
And how is that tied to item
Second.
H?
Let me explain. What they're doing on G is exempting from the order to have the vendor sign first.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and then the next item is the actual approval of
Gotcha.
the MOUs.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, was that?
Second.
By Commissioner Sanchez on item G. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, item carries. On item H is the approval of the MOU with the same entities as listed. Item A through U. Moved by
Second.
Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Sanchez. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed, carries. Item I, consideration and revocation of letter approved on item 2B of agenda for November the 15th, 2012. Put, Manuel?
This item was approved under consent last week in the meeting, and so then that project was tabled, and so we have a 30-day out on any local agreement that we have with TAC if it's at the end of the agreement. So we had 30 days to opt out of that, and so now we're going to go beyond the first of the year so we can stay with the agreement, and then we can opt out of that 60 days after.
And what does this do?
This, we just want to stop, not send it out, just
Okay. And
keep it
this
on.
is your recommendation?
Keep it on status quo, yes, so that we're not out of workers' comp.
Got it.
You know.
Do I hear a motion to
moved.
approve by Commissioner Hernandez, second by Commissioner Gatsa? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, carries. Item J, consideration, approval, or rejection of a beachfront construction certificate and dune protection permit for the Cameron acquisition, 80.79 plus or minus acres.
Yeah, Judge, Commissioners, good morning. This item was tabled last week, just to get some, I
Any
believe-
changes?
No changes.
Move to approve, Judge.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Benavides. Any discussion?
We're moving to approve the item so they can do the construction. Is that what you're saying, Commissioner? Good.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carries. Item K, consideration and authorization to reject proposals as received for RFP 1470 workers' comp. This is your recommendation? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
By Commissioner Gatsa, second by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed, item carries. Item L, discussion and possible action on a resolution approving a private offer to purchase the below referenced properties, Track 1, Lot 5, Block 2, Spanish Dagger. After? All right, withdraw. Item M, consideration and authorization for Cameron County Divert Court to use funds from 420, 4354, 6064, not to exceed $30,000 for modifications, remodeling of the Cameron County, Wolsey County Restitution Center. Your turn.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning. Introduce yourself for the record.
What this is,
Introduce yourself for the record.
oh, Tobin Leffler with the Adult Probation Department.
Good morning.
We have the Restitution Center. It's located out near the airport, and it's in dire need of repair. However, we cannot use our money in the adult probation budget to make repairs to the building. Our state oversight agency, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Community Justice Assistance Division, sent me a letter in July that if we want to continue operations, we need to make numerous repairs. I made contact with Marcelino Ibarra in the maintenance department, and he gave me a listing of the repairs that could be made and how much it would cost, totaling $25,435. I tried many different avenues to find out how we could fund this without it coming out of maintenance's budget, and Judge Nelson offered up some money out of his discretionary fund for the divert court to support this, because the divert court refers many offenders to this program.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing it to us. Let me ask a question from, I guess, David. I don't see Marcelino. Yeah, Marcelino. When you do this, do you have it programmed in your schedule as to when you're going to go out and get it done quickly? I mean, is this going to start at the beginning of the year, tomorrow, when? And how does this work into your other maintenance responsibilities that you've got?
Or outsource it?
Yeah, I mean, basically it needs to be programmed into a schedule.
All right.
So Marcelino would have to work with them to make sure that he gets the program.
I'm sorry?
I think the best schedule to be, because that assessment I make in April, so I need to have some time to put in the schedule together.
How soon?
I think it's going to be it's earlier next year.
How soon were y'all looking at getting it done?
CJA's been very cooperative with us as long as it's in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, but foreseeable future is 5 years. Okay, let me ask a question. What is the time frame in terms of how long it's going to take you? About 60 days, 45 days?
4 weeks.
4 weeks for the extra help, but actually going to take a month and a half, which is 6 weeks.
Yeah, about 45 days. Okay. All right, just.
And if we outsourced it, would it be that much more?
Yeah, I think that's why you want us to do it, because we'll be a little bit less expensive, correct? Okay. Can you all then just schedule it for early next year, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
To approve.
Moved by Commissioner Benavides. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Commissioner Sanchez. Thank you.
How long of a lease do we have on the building?
I don't know.
You know, I mean, it's not going to be expired like in 90 days, is it? Right, so we have a long-term lease on the building?
Do we have a long-term lease on the building? Yes. You do?
Yes?
All right.
It's actually with the city of Brownsville for the airport. It's out at the airport property.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carries. Do I hear a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
By Commissioner Hernandez and by Commissioner Gatsa. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, item carried. To discuss the following 4 items. Confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel regarding legal issues surrounding recent GLO comments pursuant to Code Section 551.0712. Item B, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel regarding legal issues pertaining to choosing among the alternatives for the economic development vehicle pursuant to Code Section 551.0712 and 551.087. Item C, confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning Mohammed Banjan versus Armando Villalobos and others pursuant to Code Section 551.0711A. Last item, item D, discussion and possible action regarding a private offer to purchase the below referenced properties pursuant to Code Section 551.072.